For years, the FP Journe Élégante was one of watchmaking's best-kept secrets. Collectors who knew it really knew it. Beyond that inner circle, it remained virtually unknown. It was the entry-level FP Journe, a lightweight, quartz-driven watch sitting at the very bottom of the brand's price list. Simple to live with, incredibly comfortable, and initially designed as a woman's watch to solve a very practical problem. A quiet presence in a catalogue dominated by prestigious mechanical creations, but quickly became a favourite among collectors, amongst those who understood independent watchmaking before it became a trend. And then, in a remarkably short period, everything changed. A watch that quietly retailed in the low five figures, around 15,000 British pounds, began trading for several multiples of that, nearing the six-figure mark. Its appreciation outstripped even the strongest over-retail performers of recent years, a surge that would have seemed unthinkable just a short time earlier. A time-only quartz watch suddenly becoming one of the most aggressively repriced pieces in modern collecting. How did that happen? What was hiding beneath the surface all these years? And is this rise a long overdue breakout or the unmistakable shape of a bubble? Today, we're breaking down the Élégante, what it is, why collectors value it so highly, and how this once quiet watch became one of the most fascinating stories in contemporary horology. The real surprise wasn't just that the Élégante started trading for multiples of retail, it was the company it suddenly found itself keeping. A quartz watch sitting price-wise alongside pieces like the Nautilus, the Royal Oak and the Daytona, watches backed by decades, even centuries of mechanical prestige and established collector demand. And even compared against high-end manufacturers like Lange Söhne, brands that traditionally define mechanical excellence, the Élégante's market trajectory stands out as something entirely different. That contrast really makes you stop and think, and naturally, it raises a fair question. Is the Élégante genuinely worthy of those comparisons, or has the market pushed a little too far too fast? The Élégante didn't rise off the back of an ad campaign or celebrity placement. It rose because appreciation for the Élégante finally caught up with its qualities, and demand intensified in a way the brand's limited output simply couldn't absorb. The shift from being an insider's pick to being compared with modern grails is what changed everything. To understand the Élégante's moment, you have to zoom out to the brand as a whole. Over the past decade, FP Journe has experienced unusually strong demand across its entire catalogue. The Chronomètre Bleu became a cultural phenomenon. Octa and Souverain models developed multi-year waitlists. Complications earned deep loyalty among serious collectors. Meanwhile, at Rolex, Patek and AP, only select references command premiums. Many sit at or below retail. Journe is different. Demand is not concentrated on a single hero model. It's broad and it's consistent. The Élégante's rise isn't part of an isolated spike, it's part of a larger revaluation of the brand itself. And yet, the Élégante stands apart because it's the entry-level FP Journe. Collectors pay attention when the most accessible watch in a brand's catalogue begins trading higher than more complex, more traditional pieces. That contradiction, simplicity becoming scarcity, makes the Élégante uniquely compelling. It challenges assumptions about what entry-level means, and that paradox is a major reason this watch became a cultural talking point. For nearly a decade, the Élégante quietly existed beneath the surface. Collectors bought it for themselves and for recognition only among those in the know. They appreciated its comfort, its originality and its practicality. And it's funny to look back now, because early Élégante buyers were sometimes questioned for spending £15,000 on a quartz watch. Yet today, those same collectors look incredibly smart in hindsight. This long period of quiet appreciation built something markets can't manufacture: credibility. So when broader attention finally arrived, the groundwork was already laid. The Élégante's design is a major part of its appeal. The modern flat Tortue titanium case, Journe's hybrid interpretation of classic barrel and cushion forms, paired with a darker, technical aesthetic of the Titalyt treated variants. And that Titalyt finish isn't a coating, it's an electroplasma oxidation treatment originally used in medical and aerospace applications, hardening the titanium itself and giving the watch its distinctive matte technical character. The exposed screws, the blued steel hands floating above a luminous dial that glows as a single surface, and the unmistakable FP Journe numerals, clean, architectural and instantly recognizable. In an industry of familiar silhouettes, the Élégante looks like nothing else. It's distinctive without trying to be loud, and collectors gravitate towards that authenticity. One of the Élégante's superpowers is how naturally it fits into daily life. Titanium keeps it feather light, the ergonomics are exceptional, the rubber straps make it versatile and comfortable, and it's robust, more robust than most independent pieces. It's rare to find a high-end independent that can be worn everywhere with this much ease. And this daily wear aspect resonated especially strongly with younger collectors, a generation that values practicality and modern design as much as traditional horology. In many ways, the Élégante became the entry point into independence for an entirely new demographic. Much of the discourse around the Élégante centers on the fact it's quartz, but this is FP Journe. Nothing here is conventional. The Élégante's electromechanical movement took roughly 8 years to develop, an extraordinary amount of time for a quartz project and a reflection of how seriously Journe approached it. The movement was originally conceived for women's watches. Journe noticed a simple, very human behavior. Many women would take their watch off, put it in a drawer for days or weeks, and when they came back to wear it, the battery would be dead, or the time completely wrong. He didn't want that experience for his clients or for their partners. So he designed a movement that sleeps when the watch is still, keeping time internally while the hands rest. And rather than a digital sensor, it uses a tiny mechanical rotor to detect motion, a component that behaves almost like a micro rotor, not to wind the watch but simply to wake it, a quietly brilliant FP Journe detail. Pick it up and the hands jump instantly to the correct time via the shortest route, sometimes backwards if that's faster. It's a small moment of theatre that Élégante owners never get tired of seeing. Battery life stretches close to a decade, and that's active running time. Standby extends far longer, in some cases up to 18 years. While some compare it to high accuracy quartz or super quartz movements, the Élégante's innovation isn't about raw accuracy, it's about power management and user experience. What's fascinating is that this practical idea, originally intended for collectors' wives and partners, ended up resonating even more with men. As interest grew, Journe expanded the range into unisex and larger references, not because of marketing ambition, but because collectors asked for it. This isn't quartz as a compromise, it's quartz made purposeful. And it's here that the Élégante perfectly reflects François-Paul Journe's philosophy. He invented it and he made it. Journe has a talent for solving problems in ways that feel obvious only after you've seen them. Solutions so clean and intuitive that you immediately understand their benefit, yet the engineering behind them is remarkably complex. He has even said that Élégante is the most practical watch he's ever made, which is exactly the point. A watch that sleeps when unworn, a display that knows the right time, years of battery life without sacrifice, and the quiet delight of seeing the hands set themselves the moment you pick it up. These sound like simple conveniences, but making them feel this effortless requires enormous technical sophistication. Journe believes the owner should experience purity and ease, even if the watchmaker must take the most difficult path to deliver it. Understanding the Élégante also means understanding FP Journe's culture. This is not a transactional brand. Boutiques are intimate, collectors are known personally, allocations are based on genuine connection, not purely on spending strategies. You don't accidentally get an Élégante, you grow into the brand and become part of its ecosystem. And the culture around FP Journe runs even deeper than boutiques and events. At the FP Journe restaurant in Geneva, the staff wear Élégantes in a distinctive red configuration made specifically for them. A small detail, but one that shows how naturally the watch is woven into the brand's world. And crucially, FP Journe produces only around 1,000 watches per year across all collections, a level of output that makes meaningful scale impossible, even if the brand wanted it. And when demand rises inside a system that stays intentionally limited, prices don't creep upward, they jump. Put all of this together and the Élégante's rise becomes far easier to understand. Years of quiet collector admiration, strong brand momentum across the catalogue, a design that stands apart, true daily wearability, a clever reimagined movement, a relationship-driven allocation system, and the paradox of an entry-level watch behaving like a grail. And high-profile auction results added further momentum. The limited MAMCO Élégante edition, produced to support the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Geneva, achieved strong prices at auction, reinforcing market confidence and signaling that collectors were beginning to view the model far more seriously than its retail positioning suggested. Auctions didn't create demand, they validated it. And perhaps most remarkably, it remains the only quartz watch in modern collecting to achieve true grail-like status, something no one expected a decade ago. This wasn't a single spark, it was a convergence, and convergence, when production is limited, is powerful. So is this a bubble or a breakout? The fundamentals, design, scarcity, identity, culture are genuinely strong, but the volume and speed of the rise do resemble market momentum pushing beyond fundamentals alone. As with many shifts in watch collecting, the truth is likely a hybrid, a long overdue breakout amplified by the momentum of the market. And realistically, a lot of people are genuinely compelled to acquire one of these pieces, and most of them have little to no chance of getting it at retail, especially if they want it right now. That persistent, unresolvable demand is the real engine behind its trajectory. And it's worth acknowledging that even at retail, some collectors still debate whether a Quartz watch should cost £15,000, but the Élégante was never priced according to traditional Quartz logic. It was priced according to the philosophy, innovation and craftsmanship behind it. So, is it worth it? At retail, in my opinion, yes, it is. You're getting a thoughtful design, a modern and intelligent movement, comfort, versatility, and an introduction to one of the most respected independent maisons of our time. On the secondary market, the answer depends entirely on why you collect. Because at £80,000 or more, you're in the same price territory as some exceptionally serious watchmaking. From a Lange Söhne to Vacheron Constantin to Patek Philippe and many other respected independents, you have access to pieces that represent some of the finest mechanical craftsmanship available today. So when the Élégante commands that level of money, it's natural for collectors to pause and ask, what exactly are you paying for? If you're buying logic, the premium is difficult. If you're buying culture, scarcity, identity, a piece that captures this exact moment in FP Journe's story, then the Élégante carries a value that goes beyond specification sheets. And it's worth remembering that at this level of horology, many buyers are ultra high net worth individuals. For them, the premium simply accelerates access. The cost isn't life-changing, but the emotional value of owning the piece may be. But for collectors with finite budgets, the calculation becomes far more personal and far less easy to justify. The FP Journe Élégante is no longer the quiet secret it once was, but its rise tells us something deeper about where modern collecting is heading, towards intention, subtlety, and philosophy over spectacle. Bubble or breakout, the Élégante has earned its place in the contemporary narrative of horology. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It genuinely helps the channel more than you'd imagine. And if you're looking to make your watches truly distinct, you can explore our curated selection of straps for Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe and more, as well as our travel rolls designed to protect your collection. All available with global delivery at distincttimepieces.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.